guys know, This is Cinema is also about television series. So let's talk about Griselda here. Yo, Griselda starring Sofia Vergara. Matter of fact, let's get the timer on. Griselda starring Sofia Vergara is absolutely amazing, stunning, jaw dropping at times. And even though it's crime, it still makes you want to root for the little guy, the underdog, if you will. And obviously, a woman in pretty much any field is an underdog, right? If you talk about a woman in the music industry, now we got Taylor Swift, who is the biggest entertainer in the world. But still, you talk about women in the music industry or sports. I love women's sports, man. But you talk about women's sports, you talk about women comp anything with women is they, and so especially if you're talking about the drug game, okay? Light up that exotic if you got it, pour up that expensive so we can get offensive. Um, Talking about the drug game, man, Griselda was really good. It was so good. I had to catch myself because I'm rooting for Griselda like she wasn't a fucking psychopath and a maniac. You know what I mean? A cold-blooded murderer who's responsible for killing even children. But the TV show, the way it depicts it, I just like the story. Now, again, this is what I meant when I said that even real life stories, they end typical because when you think about drug dealing, I've been hearing this since I was a kid. It's only one or two ways out of the drug game: dead or in jail. You know what I mean? And I guess it's three ways because you could be a snitch, you know what I mean? And maybe you'll get some love like that. But even still, even if you're a snitch, you're going to go to jail. So I felt like, if I'm just being real, it was some really good action in Griselda. And I didn't realize that Griselda like held so much weight out here. Like I had maybe I heard of her after watching some Pablo Escobar documentaries or something, but I've never really heard of Griselda Blanco. So to see this, I thought it was really good, man. I thought the way she was portrayed. Now I am hearing that Sofia Vergara is getting sued. If you watch the movie, she can only be sued by one person because, right? I mean, I guess she had a husband, a black dude at the end because she got powed. I think she was 69 when she got smoked. You know what I mean? That's how you know she was really into some shit. Because who out here smoking an old lady? Like she was really into the shits. Like she was calling a lot of hits. And even regardless of the way she ended up going out, why I say it was typical, because she had the whole world in her hands. No one could stop her. The police, they couldn't stop her. She was one step ahead of the police, but what stopped her was paranoia, and greed and bloodlust, I will say. And she had all of those. Some people could say, oh, she was a woman. She was making irrational decisions because, it's why they say we don't want a woman president because, oh, she'd be on her period one day and just hit a nuke off. Like, this, I'm not saying it's true. I'm just saying I've heard this growing up my entire life. So when you look at it from that perspective and you look at the fall of her empire, it's like she didn't trust her team. And another thing, which was typical, what KRS say? Don't get high on your own supply. I think that was KRS. Um, you don't get high on your own supply. She started smoking crack. And mind you, people in the 80s, they didn't understand how detrimental crack was, how bad crack would end up being. Like me growing up, the Dare program, I get it. A lot of people talk shit about it, but bro, Dare was a big thing for me. Even though I still end up growing up smoking weed, you know what I mean? But and doing some other drugs, but still, from Dare and from personal experiences, having aunties, uncles on crack, it's just I never wanted to smoke any kind of hard drugs. And once when I was in eighth grade, they showed us this website called justonehit.com or .org, and it was about how addicting meth was. And they were showing us mugshots of people 90 days from smoking meth, and the way they looked, it scared me. I never wanted to do anything like meth. I never wanted to do anything like crack or heroin. I never wanted to do any of that stuff. You know what I mean? So her fall was literally doing crack, getting paranoid, and trying to kill her best friend, and actually two of her best friends, because she was paranoid. Her son came in tripping, and she was like, "Oh, go kill that motherfucker," which was the first person she met when she was trying to put her crew together. He was the first one that rolled with her, and she tried to end up getting him killed, and they end up killing the little boy, and that was pretty much the end of her empire. You know what I mean? It was pretty sad to see. It was sad to see, but typical. You can't sell drugs and think it, especially nowadays. Back in those days, though, uh, you know what? I'm gonna keep it so hot. Back in those days, I sometimes now I get a little nostalgic. I don't know why, but for some reason, man, I get a little nostalgic and maybe a little jealous, and it could be just a FOMO thing. But sometimes I'm like, damn. And not to do crime, I don't want you guys to think like that. But sometimes I wonder, man, like, man, I just wonder how that was back in the days, when there was no smartphone, social media, a camera on every light post. It was just a different world back then, and I just kind of wonder like how that was. You actually had to, you know, you didn't have your devices to just live with, so it just kind of makes me think, make me wonder. Uh, and also, she was just a little too greedy. So it was this point where she put muscle on everybody. She put like the speeches that she was giving a home to the Cubans, coming over here. We all seen Scarface. We know how the Cubans came into Miami. The speeches she was giving, because a lot of that is what sports is about. You give a good speech, it inspires people. Like my man's Keenan, he was talking to me one time. I was like, bro, you made me want to run through a wall right now. Hmm. Bit off more than I could chew or sip, I would say. But yeah, she has so much muscle and power. These people willing to die and go to jail for her. She exploited them a little too much, and it ended up coming back to bite her. And again, power, greed, it's the downfall to any person that's not living right in society. The people like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk, I mean, they are able to do their greed. Like you talking about Jeff Bezos, right? They got ads on Prime Video now. Even though he's one of the richest dudes in the world, he still got to put an ads. He got that greed, but it's legal greed. You know what I mean? Everyone just has greed. They want more power. They want more, more, more. And that's really what she had. One thing that was nasty to see is all of her dudes that she was with end up dying. I actually felt bad for her second husband who ended up dying. It was just tragic to see because it was her fault. She was just a bad person, and I get it. Uh, Time is up. I get it. We want to glorify this because she was a woman, but she was a bad person. She's responsible. Griselda Blanco, she's responsible for over 200 deaths. So she was a bad person, man. That's why she got dealt with like she got dealt with. I believe her. I mean, she actually the she sent people to go kill her son's dad. That's crazy. The youngest son. And think about it like this: the youngest son might could still because he's about. I think the youngest son is about 20. He's in his early 20s. The youngest son could have his dad right now. She got him hit up, got him killed, murked off. You know what I mean? Just to say that he kidnapped him. That was messed up, you know what I mean? And now he's out here with no mom, no dad, no siblings, just him. Because what they did was the cartel, she turned herself in at the last moment, and instead of getting killed by the cartel, she ended up getting arrested. So what they did, because her homeboy ended up finessing one of the DA's assistants and had her playing with herself on the phone. They was having phone sex, and they was able to get a sweet. They wasn't able to use him as a liable witness, so Blanco was able to get about 7 years. On the seventh year, about a couple months right before she was going to get out, they killed her two sons because she had three sons. They killed two of her two oldest sons. They couldn't find the youngest one, but yeah, they killed two of the oldest sons. Or was it, no, they killed three of them. Yeah, it was three because she had four kids. She had three by her first husband and then one by her second husband. And they end up killing all three sons. You know what I mean? Right before she got out, it was tough. You know what I mean? So one thing I didn't like is so I got to do my own research, and I'm gonna make a. I'm probably gonna. Well, I'm gonna make a YouTube video about this. Um, my coworker told me my guy Keenan. He told me that when Griselda got out, she was still trapping with a black dude. You know what I mean? So they didn't touch on any of that. It was a 6 episode miniseries. They didn't touch on any of that. So if that's the truth, I'm a little disappointed in that. You know what I mean? I think they should have touched on that. But it was a 6 episode miniseries. Hopefully it was good enough because I'm hearing that they are suing. Now, what I do know is the black guy that she was dating, that she ended up dating, my coworker, my guy Keenan, he told me that he was a pen pal. They got out, she got out, they got married and whatever. And they were selling drugs together. He told me, or not that he told me, I actually seen that guy said that if HBO even mentioned him, he would sue. So it could be the same thing because it's only two people to sue, right? It's the son or the husband. So it's only one, it's one of the two. But regardless, yo, Griselda, a must watch. I watched the first 5 episodes in one night, watched the 6th episode the next night. Really good, short watch. Go watch that. I'll give it an 8 out of 10, because only why I give it an 8, certain things, I just kind of felt like she was getting a little bullied. And certain things, it was kind of like, well, is it you or is it just the muscle? But regardless, she still did her thing. So shout out to Griselda Blanco, and not even shout out to Griselda, but shout out to Sophia for portraying Griselda. Really good portrayal. They really uglied her up because y'all know Sophia is a baddie. Even in her 50s, she's a baddie. And they really uglied her up as much as they could, but it was still a very good show. So I give it an 8 out of 10. Must watch. It's on Netflix. Go watch that. So if you like this video and you think I should really do a deep dive into Griselda Blanco, give a like, comment, subscribe on this video. Let me know what you guys think at Kevin 27 World.